Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to a new game of StarCraft 2. This is going to be a professional game between probably two of the best players in their respective races. It's going to be spawning in the bottom left corner as the Blue Protoss. One of the most popular foreign Protoss players. It's going to be none other than Teamless, yeah I gotta say that, NaNiwa. And his opponent for this game is going to be none other than probably like the most up and coming player, even though she's already kind of at the top. It's going to be none other than Acer Scarlett. Now I actually say that, it's going to be an interesting thing to talk about. Scarlett actually slowly but steadily, she's climbing kind of to the top of the StarCraft 2 leagues. Like, she's winning games versus the best players in the entire freaking world. Actually, she recently, it was announced that Axiom is going to team up with Team Acer. And both of them are going to participate in the GSTL, of course, the GomTV Team League version of StarCraft 2 in Korea. So that's going to be really interesting how that is going to be. Scarlett is actually, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she is going to be probably the so-called breakout player in 2013, even though she's kind of already broken out, steadily climbing to the top. But I wouldn't be surprised if she starts winning tournament left and right in 2013, somewhat kind of like Stefano did in 2012. I'm going to be interested, but I'm calling it right now. Scarlett 2013 is gonna happen. Of course, the opponent for Scarlett is going to be none other than NaNiwa. NaNiwa, of course, also actually being known one of the best Protoss players that isn't Korean in the entire world. He's actually teamless currently, if I'm not mistaken. He probably has a pretty hard time to find a team in general, because he basically was in pretty much all of the teams, and he had some troubles with teams in the past, but we aren't really going to be talking about that because he is already opening up with a gateway. He's actually not going for the Nexus first, which is of course probably the most standard opener right now in Zerg vs Protoss. Well, maybe not the Nexus first, but at least going for the early Nexus. But no, NaNiwa not doing any of that. He's actually going to open up with a gateway first. Double gas is already being taken, followed up by a cybernetic score. And I wonder, is he going to start a Zealot soon? If he is, he might actually. This is going to be a relatively old opener in Zerg vs Protoss. Yeah, he actually is going to start that right there. So, one cute little thing to note right here. He only has two drones, or two probes rather, mining in each assimilator at this point in the game. So, this will give him a little bit less gas income than you would usually get if you get 3 drones in there. But of course, he has 4 drones, or 4 probes rather, mining gas right now. And he's going to add another pylon right now. But yeah, this is going to be interesting how he's going to use this build order that's relatively old school with a little bit of a modern twist apparently. Is he going to start a sentry on a stalker soon as well? 100 gas, is he going to start it? Yeah, there we go, the sentry going on as well. But here we go, of course, Scarlett already knows about this. She saw it with the Overlord and she actually decided to send out a bunch of Zerglings to go across the map and see what is going on. We see a probe moving out just right now by NaNiwa, and he's going to see that pretty much everything is going on standardly as well for Scarlett. However, Scarlett not going to go for the third base, and she added a gas guy, so really early. So that is going to be interesting. Like I already mentioned, all Protoss players in the world right now, or all Zerg players in the world right now versus Protoss players are mostly going for the Stefano kind of opening, which means they add an early third base. But here we go, we see the Nexus going down for NaNiwa, and Scarlett actually didn't grab a vision of that, but she probably noticed it by the double gases, and I don't actually know if, yeah, she's actually just gonna go for a third base without even scouting the natural of NaNiwa. Of course, going on one base only might mean that he's going for a really aggressive play, such as maybe a 3-gate Stalker Blink kind of play, or maybe like 4-gate or whatever. But Scarlett apparently, she knows what NaNiwa's plan is, and she simply is like, yo, screw that, I'm just gonna get the Zergling speed going, not gonna mine any more gas in my gas guys and get a third base up. I don't give a damn. It might be that he's gonna 4-gate me, but I probably will be able to scout so. And of course, at this point in the game, well, he knows there's a pylon going down right now, or she knows rather, that the pylon is going down at the natural of NaNiwa. So there we go. The Zerglings are going to scout everything that is going on. She sees 2 sentries out right now, as well as a Zealot, as well as a Forge on the low ground. So this will definitely mean that it's going to be some standard play. However, ooh, there we go. The Warp Prism is already going down. Of course, the Warp Prism allows you to warp in units across the map with a flying object. So what might happen is that he actually tries to, yeah, he's actually already rallying it across the map to the main base of Acer Scarlett, and he might be trying to pick up those sentries in the Warp Prism And is he going to do so? I'm actually curious if he's going to do so. No, come on, come on. No, he's not going to do so. He's actually going to show it to the vision of the Zerglings right now. Scarlett knows exactly what is going on, and the Warp Prism is going to fly across the map anyway. Right now, the first Immortal is on the way as well for NaNiwa. Actually, it's my music on. There we go, music going on right now. Perfect, 7 minutes into the game, no problem whatsoever. So there we go. We are going to see a Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber follow up for Scarlett. Of course, the Zergling speed is already up, so she will have pretty much everything that is required to defend against this Warp Prism. A few Zerglings are going to hang just underneath the Warp Prism, so nothing will be able to get warped in. And actually, this Warp Prism is going to be completely useless. But he might just be using this Warp Prism for scouting. Now actually take a look at it. Like, it's actually only costing minerals. Let's actually take a look at it. I don't actually know that information that well. Yeah, it's only 200 minerals, and he is of course not getting an observer out on the map right now. Everything is being scouted. He can put aggression up with this little Warp Prism, and on top of that, he's not wasting any gas, but also he's forcing all these units out of Scarlett, which is kind of a huge thing at this point in the game, because when we take a look at the income tab, while the Zerg player is ahead, all these Zerglings at this point in the game could have been drones, which means that could have been 9 more drones up, and that would have actually made a difference between light and day, light and day, light and light and dark, dark and night, night. I don't know what the English saying is, but yeah. So here we see actually some cute little play right there with the Warp Prism. I'm not going to use it to do any kind of aggression, just going to use it as a 200 mineral scout. Actually, Immortals being saved up right now, a Colossus on the way as well. So it looks like NaNiwa is going to go for some huge ass 2-base aggression. As a Protoss player, of course, this is going to be really interesting, because if he will be able to do enough damage with this, he might be able to get the full game right in his favor right now. But here we go. Is he actually? Yeah, there we see the Overseer going down right now at this point in the game. Looks like the lair is finished. The macro hatchery is going down as well as the roach speed. So if Scarlett, yeah, actually Scarlett is going to start a lot of units right now. 12 roaches already on the production tab. But will it be enough to deal with the imminent threat of the Protoss player? Here we actually see him moving out, warping in a bunch more sentries, 3 Immortals and a Colossus, most likely gonna wall himself in completely. There we go. And he's actually going to use this Warp Prism that he made earlier, that he used instead of a observer, going to use this to warp in for him. Really cool play right now from NaNiwa. He's actually chrono boosting out the +1 ground weapons upgrade as well. But I don't think this will be timed properly, because it looks like he's going to be engaging before this might happen. So here we go. He's going to put down the Warp Prism, going to warp in some more Stalkers right now. But of course, the creep is already at the fort base. There's a lot of armies right here waiting to actually engage this Protoss player from 2 sides. We see a few roaches right here on top of the ramp, as well as a lot of roaches right here on the bottom, of course. So here we go. It looks like Scarlett is going to move up a little bit. Is she going to decide to move in right now? No, there we see some nice forces going up, but is it going to be enough? Looks like a bunch of roaches are actually going to target fire these Immortals that are on the map right now, and he's going to target fire the best he can, but will it be enough? I don't actually know, because at this point, of course, the Zerg will be producing a lot of units, but so will NaNiwa be. And NaNiwa, of course, has these Immortals out. He's actually going to do some nice micro work there, picking up the weakened Immortals, and he's actually not losing too many of them. However, right now, the Colossus is being target fire. Once those Colossus go down, it might get a lot harder for NaNiwa to do anything at all, and it looks like Scarlett will have enough to actually clean up this 2-base push from NaNiwa. So I'm actually interested, is he going to follow this up in an expansion at all? The Colossus is trying to be a sneaky bastard and get away. He's like, nope, I'm not here. And Scarlett actually knows the Colossus is somewhere on the map. She's going to try and look for it, but here we go. Is she going to find it? Looks like, yeah, that she actually does find that little Colossus, and it is going down. There we go. The 3rd base of the Protoss player is being blocked right now. It's going to be almost 120 supply for the Zerg player versus only 60 for the Protoss player. So this is going to be a huge advantage that Scarlett has. I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlett would throw up a 4th base really quickly. Of course, she's already in 4 hatcheries. She's starting the +2 attack right now for the roaches. But at this point in time, she's still stuck on this kind of attack. Only right now the infestation pit is going down. At this point, she only has roach Zergling. even though she's ahead in supply, even though she has a big advantage at this point in the game, it might still like swing back in NaNiwa's favor just because Scarlett is up with really low tech units, whereas of course NaNiwa is already having Colossus out. So she's once again going to scout and see what is going on. She notices that the forge is upgrading once again, so it might be that NaNiwa is just going to save up once again on 2 bases and go for an even bigger push in a little while. So there we see the second Colossus already joining the fight. Still no aggression up until the 3rd base right now from NaNiwa. NaNiwa doesn't he doesn't look like he's going to try and take this 3rd base at any point. In this game, he's actually going to warp in more and more Zealots, going to use, of course, the long range from those Colossus to most likely do a bunch of damage to the Protoss or to the Zerg army. Few nice force fields going up, just separating and putting a little bit of distance between the Zerg forces and the Protoss forces, so he might be able to take the 3rd base at the 14-minute mark in the game. But of course, the 4th base is already almost about to be done for the Zerg player at this point in the game. Hive is on the way, as well as a Spire right now. I wouldn't be surprised yet that we actually see 5 Infestors already being already in the production tab right now. A few finishing up at this point in the game, and it looks like Scarlett is in a firm position to take this game. Of course, the creep has to dissipate a little while before actually having the possibility of taking this 3rd base right now. But look at the tiny army that NaNiwa has at this point. Of course, Scarlett is going to try and go for the Broodlord Infestor army, because Broodlord Infestor is absolutely awesome. There we see the Spire finishing up at the exact same time as the Hive is finishing up, so she can go for the Greatest Spire right away. However, the Observer has full vision of this. He actually knows the exact timing of the Hive right now, and he also knows that there will most likely be a bunch of Corruptors on the way right now, and he's completely right with that. He's also, or she is also going to start a bunch of Spine Crawlers right now at the bottom of the 4th ramp, and as long as she's just, or he is, no, I'm confused. She is just denying this 3rd base. There we go, actually, the 3rd base being once again cancelled by Acer Scarlett, and NaNiwa doesn't have any option to go in, but once again take the Nexus at the 3rd base. He's just going to try and make as many Colossus as he possibly can, actually more and more Colossus on the production tab, as well as a Warp Prism, so he might get a little bit more aggressive as soon as this Warp Prism finishes. But right now, there's going to be a lot of Colossus out on the map. The Greatest Spire, however, is starting to morph in. We see a bunch of Corruptors on the map somewhere as well. Actually, there they are. Oh my god, this is actually a fearsome army of Corruptors. He's actually going to try and push in a little bit into the 3rd base of NaNiwa, but NaNiwa has this big ass force right now trying to move across the map. Even though Scarlett doesn't have the highest tech units at all, she has pretty good upgrades going on right now. The +3 armor looks like it's actually on the way right now, or the +1, or the +3 range rather, is on the way right now, as well as the +1 melee attack. So here we go, the pilot is going to be picked up, and it looks like NaNiwa is going to try and get as aggressive as we can. She is actually going to target fire all those Colossus down. With the Corruptors not going to put too much engagement going on right now. He's actually going to, or she is actually going to throw down as many infested Terrans as humanly possible, and he's actually going to throw back the Protoss player for now, warping in more and more Stalkers, of course, going to try and deal with all those Colossus, or with all the Corruptors that are on the map right now. Nice blink back with NaNiwa's Stalkers, but is it going to be enough? I highly doubt it, and NaNiwa GG's out of the game. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like and favorite button right below the video. And as always, don't forget to smile, and hopefully I see you again. Bye!